This not there before time. This ain't a long time. This ain't a long time. This not there before time. This ain't a long time. This ain't a long time. This not there before time. Long time got some long logi. Now you got some bungalow. Long time got some long logi. Now you got some bungalow. This ain't a long time. This ain't a long time. This not there before time. This ain't a long time. This ain't a long time. This not there before time. Long time got some dirty dam. Now you got some concrete road. Long time got some dirty dam. Now you got some concrete road. Long time got some dirty dam. Now you got some concrete road. Long time got some dirty dam. Now you got some concrete road. This ain't a long time. This ain't a long time. This not there before time. This ain't a long time. This ain't a long time. This not there before time. Long time got some jug lamp. Now you got some electric light. Long time got some jug lamp. Now you got some electric light. This ain't a long time. This ain't a long time. This not there before time. This ain't a long time. This ain't a long time. This not there before time. Long time got some broad bottom. Now you got some tight straight. Long time got some broad bottom. Now you.
I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fair with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment. And you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows. One set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup. Look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for
there and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su. Oh, Su.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata Francis Wakenham, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cop, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
Good night. Welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benchap. We're going to rock and roll for about an hour. That's how we do it. We like to keep it on that hour, and we're out of here. Unless there's some sort of special circumstances on the ground in Guyana, then we give you a little bit more. But we like to keep it 59 minutes, and that's it. I'm out of here. It's 10 minutes after 9 o'clock. My name is Mark Benchap. Welcome to Straight Up. Well, this family is a family no stranger to you guys. You guys already know they're fighting for justice, and we just got to keep the pressure up. Right, Queenie White? We have lots of new names, new people watching. Let's welcome Queenie White. The first time I'm seeing that name. And so we welcome Queenie White. And let me see who is watching. Who is watching for the first time? If Queenie White is watching for the first time, you can say Queenie. Hi, Queenie. All right. So who else is watching Straight Up for the first time? It's okay. It's okay to give a thumbs up if you're watching for the first time. We ask that you share the link. And not only that, in order for you to get notification, you've got to follow the Pen Shop Radio page, or you can follow my personal page. Just follow me and we will walk side by side. You know what I mean? All right. So welcome to all of the first timers. We have a lot of lots and lots of Army vets who are watching. Leopold, how are you? A Caucasian American. We got lots of them watching, you know. Lots. Hey, how are you, Betty? How are you doing? Leopold and all those other folks. How are you? And now, here's what I'm saying, that I got some white friends, Caucasian friends, and some of them are watching. Guess which is the term that they latch on to? Paku, right? Dwayne and the entire crew in Guyana, and all of you, just imagine the Caucasians, they latch on to Paku. They like that term Paku. Some of them say, hey, Mark, we like that term Paku. And we're glad that you're calling Judicial Paku. Oh, the Paku. All right, guys, Lincoln Lewis is with us tonight. Our executive producer has signaled that Lincoln Lewis is with us tonight. We have quite a lot of questions for the veteran trade unionist, Lincoln Brandon Lewis. That's correct. Lincoln Brandon Lewis. He's going to be with us on Straight Up. We have some questions for him. He got some quick answers for us, too. You know, look, I like interviewing Lincoln, and I like when we're protesting. And I oftentimes talk about when we were in Camp Street lockups together. 3 of us. There was a bunch of others there. And it was as soon as we got into the lockups, because that horrible man, he's now dead. You know, they have a saying, especially persons of African descent, oh, don't speak ill of the dead. Oh, don't speak ill of the dead. Give me a break. What's his name? And I don't mean this in any disrespectful term to people, but that guy was really a kunumunu. That guy, Henry Green, as commissioner of police, was one of the most corrupt commissioners of police Guyana has ever had. Corrupt. One of them. They have lots of corrupt commissioners of police. 1 and 2 of them back in the old days when I was I'm just kidding, you guys. You know, I was police. Right. Growing up, we were actually, all of us in the village were policemen. Right, Leroy and Clyde and the whole crew. All right, so good night to all of you. Welcome to Straight Up. This is what's happening at the in Essequibo. As you know, the PPP, they're preparing to fight Venezuela, and they're rehearsing and they're recruiting all sorts of things. And so they have a big show, a huge show. And let me just apologize. Lincoln Lewis is with us. He is in the back studio, as we can see him. Let me just ask Lincoln Lewis for just maybe a minute more of his time, because we have to show respect for our guests and not to have them on the back end of the interview, the studio, so to speak, for a long time. So my apologies, Lincoln. And so they're recruiting, and they're not going, I guess, take a look at their main recruiting drive. Just take a look at it. Right now, somebody sent us a video of what was happening at Freedom House. I think Paku Bond is responsible for recruiting, and they're not doing a good job at it. They're not doing. So this was what was happening earlier tonight at Freedom House. They're recruiting for some concert they have at somewhere in Essequibo. Take a look at this and tell me what you think. They're recruiting people to go and fight Venezuela, but they're going to sing first. Take a look.
देखा एक ख्वाब तो ये सिलसिले हुए दूर तक निगाह में है गुल खिले हुए
ये गिला है आपकी निगाहों से फूल भी हो दरमियां तो फासले हुए
ख्वाब तो ये सिलसिले.
So they're recruiting right now. Is that how they're going to win? And not only that, over the weekend, they caught some other people from Linden. Just two guys from Linden. And this is what they were doing. They're preparing to go and fight Venezuela. Venezuela ain't going and invade nobody. If Jack Dale had his way, Jack Dale will sell out Guyana to Venezuela, sell out the entire Guyana to Venezuela. That is what they'll do, right? Those corrupt vagabonds in the PPP regime, those PPPackoos. And even as we speak, they had a big fight, big fight at Freedom House. That's happening, and we're getting all the videos. Big fight happening at Freedom House, guys. And we give you the evidence, right? Jack Dale, Irfan, all of them are fighting at Freedom House as we prepare to bring our guest on, Lincoln Brandon Lewis. This is what happened earlier tonight at Freedom House. We got them, we saw them. You guys will see who is Jack Dale, who is Irfan, who is Anil, and the whole crowd. Big fighting going on at Freedom House. Big fighting happening at Freedom House. Brandon Lewis, Lincoln Brandon Lewis, veteran trade unionist. Salute you as always for your service and your commitment to country, workers' rights, human rights, political rights, people's constitutional rights, all of the rights they have. Good night to you, sir, and welcome to Straight Up again.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, and thanks as always for giving us some of your time right here on 107.1 FM. Let's get straight into what's happening in Guyana. First of all, give us a brief update. I know Critchlow Labor College, they had that fire. What's happening? Give us an update, please, because people want Critchlow Labor College back. So many, thousands upon thousands of people have benefited. Thousands upon thousands of Guyanese, young Guyanese, they're not so young now, but they have benefited from Critchlow Labor College. It was recently burnt. What's happening, sir? Give us an update.
Let me say to you that as far as we're concerned, the idea that or the information that we pushed out there is that Critchlow was born through electrical fire. We are saying no way. All the advice that we have been given, it's naked arson, and who did it is still to be known. We don't know who's the person that is involved in it, but we consider it arson because where the fire started, there are no electrical wires or anything in those areas. In that area that the fire started. We look at Critchlow that has been constructed 57 years ago. When it was constructed, it was primarily to bring trade union education. It was trade union and worker education, but not at the level that the demand is today. And because of that, we are looking at Critchlow, what we can rebuild now and can respond to the future. So we are looking at curriculum development. We are looking at the possibility of, sports is something that our constituency, Critchlow constituency, trade union constituency has always been involved in, or we can incorporate sports into it. We need to respond to the needs of the region and the world. We need to look at what training we need to do to meet trade demands, skills, and so forth. So what we are doing is to look at Critchlow in a wider sense than when it was conceptualized in 1960 and constructed in 1968. The responses from Guyanese has been good. A number of persons who came in to ask, what can we do to help Critchlow? And I've not been asking what Critchlow can do to help us. So there we are. We are working towards our new beginning. As I said earlier, that some weeks ago, that we are going to rise from the ashes, and we will do so. So that will
absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that brief rundown as to the situation with Critchlow Labor College. Lincoln Lewis, our guest tonight on Straight Up. Let's go straight to, before we get to Linden, I want to talk about the shooting to death of those two young men, and so far, no justice. One sergeant was actually charged for the first killing, but nothing at all for the second. The RSS, a team of RSS officers were in Guyana. No reports, none whatsoever. There is a breaking news that I wanted to go to. And in Guyana, when you have breaking news, you want to know whether there's a fatality or not. Nothing to do. It's a judicial fatality, though. But this is the breaking news, Lincoln, in case you missed it. It says 7 new justices to the Court of Appeal. Those justices are, and they will be sworn in as of the 21st, that is tomorrow. Those justices that will be headed toward the Court of Appeal: Justice Joanne Barlow, Justice Navendra Singh, Justice Narishwar Harnanan, Justice Priya Siunarayan Bihari, Mistress Joycelyn Kite Thomas, Justice Damon Young, and Mr. Rafiq Khan, Senior Counsel. Lincoln, what's your take on this move? We know we have been hearing lots and lots and seeing lots and lots of distractions. What is your take on this latest move as of today with these 7?
Let me say to you that it is known that the PPP is preparing for elections. The country is being prepared for elections, and what they are making sure that any shenanigans that they may be involved in, they must have the judges at the appeal court. If they lose at the high court, they must have the judges at the appeal court to respond to the desires of the PPP. In Guyana, any longer, the issue here of court and decisions, they are highly political. I always believe that the law is made for society, and that society be made for the law, right? Many times, I don't believe that the decisions of the court, in many cases, a number of cases, are reflective of what the evidence is before the court. And what they're doing now, it's not a question that I don't respect these individuals as individuals, but many of them, they make decisions that are influenced by political consideration and influences that come from politicians. We are at a critical point, and they don't realize, many of these judges, magistrates, and judges don't understand that they are not helping the society to get better. After time, people are going to take things in their own hands when the court can't respond to the desires of society. And this brings me to the point where a point I want to make to you, that every time people react to what takes place in this society, we condemn it. What we do is to deal with the effect. What we're not doing is addressing the cause in society. And these type of things are the things that cause people to behave in a certain way. So now we've got it. That's it.
Yeah, Lincoln, as we do the math here, because these judges in the High Court are going to be heading to the appellate court, which means that they have to get some new judges for the High Court. So this is just the beginning of the PPP stocking, not only the High Court, but the appellate court, with judges, for the most part, judges who are favorable to them. For the most part, I'm saying. I'm not painting all the judges or justices with the same brush. Certainly not. But the next step, you're already short of judges in the High Court. They have lots of people who are in jail languishing for so many years because they can't get an early trial because of the High Court problem with judges. So they remove judges from the High Court, put them in the appellate court. Let's expect some new judges coming in soon. But what is your take that the PPP regime is focusing now on these justices and not the confirmation of the Chief Justice and the Chancellor? Any surprise there?
Yeah, basically, if you understand that what is taking place is that they don't want both of them, or they don't want one of them, and they will move to do anything that can help them to get rid of both of them, or if one of them. Let me say to you that no longer the people is so brazen to the extent that they don't care about people's rights. They don't care about rule of law or anything like that. They will tell you that they respect workers' rights and they will do this and they will do that. But those two persons, the president, the chancellor, and the chief justice, they are workers in this country, and they are violating the laws and in spirit and intent, and they are transgressing the rights of these two individuals. But they see nothing wrong with it as long as they are in charge and they get their way. I'm going to tell you something. The day any one of these the judges that gone up to the appeal court now take a position that they don't like, they will condemn them publicly. This is a country, where no longer this government respect the decision of the judges in the High Court. Because they're telling you that every time a decision comes against them, they say, we're going to carry it to the CCJ. And the CCJ, it's time they come to terms and understand that the Guyanese begin to see them as pawns of the PPP. We got to change this thing. We got to fight back. We have to do something about this situation.
Lots and thank you so much, Lincoln Lewis. Lots and lots of questions, eyebrows are being raised as to the appointment of these 7 justices to the Court of Appeal. People are asking, and the question, and rightly so, why and why now? And why is it that they have ignored the substantive, the appointments of the Chancellor, who's been acting for a while, and the Chief Justice, who has been acting for a while. The corrupt PPP regime, they have promised that they were going to confirm them over 2 years now. Another big lie to the nation. But some other time, I guess by now the nation knows why they do not want to appoint, especially the Chancellor of the Judiciary, to the substantive position. Um, Maybe they're comfortable with the Chief Justice, but if they want to appoint the Chief Justice or confirm, sorry, and ignore the Chancellor of the Judiciary, it's not going to look too good. But we'll get back to that hopefully before the end of the show or in some other program. But Lincoln, let's head to Linden. The injustices. 2 young men were shot and killed. The second young man who was shot and killed, according to eyewitnesses, by a member of the Guyana police force. The RSS got in there. No justice at all. What's happening there, sir?
Mark, I don't understand why this society expect anything from the RSS. The RSS was never established to do the job that Guyana, every time something of this nature happens, they bring the RSS. The RSS was never established and it don't have the skills and competencies to deal with matters of this nature. The RSS was established to deal with disasters, regional disasters like hurricanes, like floods. They will look after the security element for those things. What they're asking the RSS to do is not within their remit. So it's not a question about the RSS, not a question of you hitting down the RSS. You had all these guys who are calling them, and those people who are sending them, bringing the RSS here. You understand me? What they're trying to do is to pull wool over the eyes of Guyanese. That's what they're doing. The RSS is not that; those work do not fall within the remit of the RSS. So don't expect anything good from them. You have had. I remember there was some killing, and they had the RSS came down here, and even the man who was the whistleblower, they didn't interview him, but they issue they submitted a report. You know, so. That tells you what we are.
They came down. They came down, Lincoln, for the Henry Boys murders. They came down for, and nothing at all came out of that. Then they came. They were down for the Paper Shorts murder. And you are correct. The whistleblower. They never interviewed it. They never met with the whistleblower. The key element to that was the whistleblower. They never met with him. And so much for RSS and their nonsense. Continue, sir.
You know, let me tell you what else we want to see. Pol Pot is still alive and being a part of this government, our local Pol Pot. So the death of anybody don't mean anything to we have had the hundreds of deaths that took place earlier in this century, in the early 2000 coming on. We have had that. What was done? Every time somebody died during that period, they used to tell you, there was a man who was coming on the television to tell you, on the media to tell you, to ask you, to say that these people are criminals. He never provided any evidence that they are criminals. But when you ask about when you point fingers at the people who are killing those people, they say bring the evidence. He never put systems in place to make sure that evidence flow. You come again, the Linden situation, they will tell you, they decide that in some communities they are going to use what we call, they are going to be involved in extrajudicial activities, force, regardless of the circumstances, and nothing will happen after. If you recognize when there are protests in communities that you find that are traditionally supporters of the current regime, they don't go there and shoot people and beat people. You remember early 2000, remember the issue at Albion? when the Albion police station was somewhat set afire. Remember the magistrate car was torched. Remember the protest there, and Pol Pot went up there, and he made the announcement that from now the police will not carry guns; they will carry batons, right? Because he see that as his constituency, right? When it is not his, he prepared to turn the guns on the people in this society, and regardless of the circumstances, is to turn a blind eye to what takes place. Linden killing, unless we do some other things, will remain as just a killing.
Thank you so much, Pol Pot. Probably watching. Pol Pot, indeed, a brutal dictator. Pol Pot and his crew went up to Albion. That was in 2001, when they scorched the China bomb was thrown in the front part of the Albion police station. Hundreds of people surrounded the police station because they felt that they weren't being secured. And this was under the PPP regime. And I'm sure you and lots of listeners would remember the pirates, lots and lots of high sea piracy under the PPP regime. Scores, hundreds of fishermen, fisherwomen, they were all displaced as a result of that corruption under the PPP regime. But I do recall that 2001 and protests in front of Albion police station. Policemen were beaten. Lots of things happened. A magistrate was beaten. His car was thrown into the ditch. Ronald Gadraj, who was then Minister of Home Affairs, rushed down there, and they almost sent him home. They almost sent him to smell daisy. And for those of you who know what I mean by that. And so, yes, nobody was prosecuted. Nobody was arrested for anything. But when other folks who are not supporters of the PPP regime, and for the most part, they are persons of African descent, they have a different treatment. It's oftentimes brutal by the Pol Pot regime. Lincoln, speaking of that now, terrorism charges for protesting now, or even for walking the streets. What's your take on those almost 100 persons who are currently in prison as political prisoners on trumped-up terrorism charges?
They are political prisoners. To be charging them for treason and all, those type of things. The regime recognizes that people are going to respond to what they are doing, to their oppressive behavior, the measures that they are putting in place. And coming up to an election, they believe that they can send a message by charging people for that and have those cases languish for years, will deter persons from coming out when they come to seize ballot boxes and these type of things to fight against them. These guys got a long shot, These guys, we have sunk into to a level of dictatorial behavior, being clothed in this whole notion that we have a democratic society or democracy exists. And the faster we come to realize that don't exist, it will be better for us. But let me say to you that I do not believe that will deter people from taking serious action against the government in transitions. They believe that a little dollar, that the 100,000 or the 40,000 or something like that they give to people, they believe that is because they have been given it. They believe that these rulers, They are not government. It's not government any longer. These are rulers. These rulers believe that the 40,000 or the 50,000 or the 100,000 is their money. You know, as one, there's one, their money, and we give you our money, but you're still doing this against us. We are going to send a strong message to society that we're not going to tolerate it. These guys, when you talk to them, you know, if you're talking to them and you said they will give concessions to a number of persons who are their friends, give concessions to them. And if somebody come with that, come and ask for the same thing that they have given to their friend or the court down there, they will tell you, say, you can't get it. And if you insist, they'll tell you, don't tell us how we must spend my money. Don't tell me how I must spend my money. There's a certain man, there's a certain ruler, Paul Pat, who good at telling people, don't tell me about how I must spend my money. It's we money talking about, you know. He calling my money. So it tells you the mindset of these guys. What they're doing here requires, let me tell you something. This type of action requires serious responses. That's all I get to tell you.
Thank you so much.
Let me point out, they will tell you that the gate at the police station, they'll tell you that, oh, people go bombing place, people go and they put something and blow the gate at the police outpost. Which man in the right senses will take a bomb and go and put it to blow a gate? Which man who is responding to the oppression of this country will ever do that? It's their own thing. It's their own thing they use there. They are good at that. They are beginning to play up this thing here, where they're going to start, you see, buildings born. They're going to start they're not born buildings. They go bomb places. They move now to bombing. So they go bomb places. That's how I get.
Well, they have a history of bombing and they have a history of burning. People should look up that history. You had over in Durban Street, I believe there was some TUF members, the firebomb that killed at least 5 or 6 members of that family who belonged to the, I bet the name will...
Let me just remind you, Mark. Let me just remind you. Listen, I remind this nation. Since 1992, when the PPP came to power, sugarcane stopped burning in this country, you know. Think about it. Sugarcane stopped burning in this country. Young sugarcane stopped being burned in this country. I remember in the 70s, nearly every time there's something, cane burn. When the government changed in 1992, cane stopped burning. Okay? So the burning that you're talking about, you understand what it is. It applies to the sugar industry, and that is what caused the decline of the industry over a considerable period.
Domestic terrorism, compliments of Pol Pot and his regime, Pol Pot's regime, domestic terrorism, lots of that, and they're rounding up people and charging them with acts of terrorism, no basis in law, none whatsoever. And I do hope that when they return to court in just a couple of days' time, that the matter will be thrown out. If not, put them on minimum amount of bail, either self-bail or send them home, because they don't deserve to be in there on some trumped-up terrorism charges. Again, I repeat, we'll revisit that soon. But let me ask you this question, Lincoln, as we're talking about Pol Pot and the butcher from Unity, probably the same individual. But let me have your take on this here. And here we go.
Really, and this country got some really stupid people, really. And this.
And this, your take on what that individual?
You know, I am not surprised at what that guy said, you know. I am not surprised. That is the man, it believes that the country is his personal property and the citizens are his subjects. And I cannot understand these men and women who want to rally around this guy. And the man is referring, he took a brush and he paint all of us because we don't know who we're talking about. But one thing I understand, that if he said this country has some stupid people, he has to be included in it, in that group.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And perfect picture. Thank you so much.
Really. And this country got some really stupid people, really. And this.
Indeed. Some really, he knows exactly who he's identifying. If our operator can remove those two. Lincoln, let's move on. Adriana Young, the family of Adriana Young, the parents, the aunt, the grandparents, everybody, most Guyanese, 99% Guyanese, except the 1% Packoos, mainly PPP, don't want justice. What's your take on the government's position on not ensuring that the family gets justice for their little daughter? What's your take on this one?
Let me tell you what. We are in difficult times, very difficult times. From the commander of the police force in that region, from the commander right down, these guys they are accomplices to an act where this young lady has lost her life. This man misled this entire nation. This man set out from the outset to demonize the young lady in some form. But he's still in the job. Something has to be done. These guys, you've got to be made an example of these guys. You know, my concern goes beyond how the government is handling it. I am encouraged about the responses that we have had from the wider public. But we have a bar. We have a wide cross section of legal minds. What I am worried about is the absence of a group within that community coming together, not only to advise, but to help other groups in fighting this issue. People are afraid that when they get locked up, they will not get lawyers to deal with them. For instance, these guys who have now been charged with what you call it, terrorism and all these type of things. Their families got to go and find money to bail them, to fight the cases. What happened? Any longer we don't have what we call it, we don't have people who are prepared, legal minds that are prepared to work it's not pro bono, but work for community to help us to regain our democracy. I'm worried. Very, very worried. I believe that this government don't want the truth to be known about the death of this young baby. But they are so stupid. Pardon me for using this term. This thing is they're playing cricket with a football. Everybody see the smallest person see what took place there. Don't worry, those who saying that the group that's saying that who don't want to see justice. All that they want to do is to see money, even at the expense of even their families. You know, somebody said to me one day, when the people started protest, the person said to me, you know, what this guy said doing is putting business, threatening business. They can't make money in this society and so on. So I asked the person, I say you something, tell me now, if it was your daughter, because you only get one daughter, it's your daughter, tell me what you would have done, right? And that person froze at that point because all the person was seeing is money. And many of them who now join with the government to seek to demonize it, go and tell people that they must forget and move on, is money they're seeing, you know. But I want to tell you something. Let me say to them, there's a saying that money is the root of all evil. That's all I want to remind them. When they turn back on them, they will understand what it is. I've been around a long time, you know, Mark, and let me tell you what. I've seen people who join with oppressors to do things against people. And when they get born, they walk and come and say, tell you how bad this person. Let me tell you what. You don't accept them. I will urge people, don't accept them back in your community because they work against you. They're traitors to the creating of a just society, a just and fair society. You need to stand up against them. Oh.
Absolutely. Traitors, the society, vagabonds, no good. All right, 54 minutes after 9 o'clock, Lincoln Lewis is with us this evening. Lincoln, we're talking about the injustices, all manner of things happening in Guyana. What's your take on the 3 pathologists that the PPP regime forced upon the people there, the family of the little girl?
Mark, let me tell you something. From the outset, I tell you something. I don't know what they give them, but I tell you something. I'm no doctor, but I get common sense and I understand this thing. Before they turn up, I believe that what the results that we get is what they come to deliver. The 3 of them. Okay? And unless people understand that there's anything you can, any time you talk about inquiry and the government has a hand in it, it will be concocted, corroded, compromised, and nothing will come out of it.
You know, Lincoln, and a lot of people, most Guyanese will agree with you that nothing will come out because something will come out because I see the family of the little girl, Adriana Young. They want justice and they're fighting, they're standing up and they're resisting. And I like the pressure. And
Mark,
most Chinese,
I'm not saying that
with them.
I'm not saying that nothing will come out of our debt. I said nothing will come out from what they have done. the three of them,
Oh, yeah.
right? It's a collusion to the highest extent.
And then on top of that, Lincoln, the corrupt PPP regime rushed to Canada to bring in a single detective, a retired detective, one man. I don't know. What's your take on this detective being there?
Did he get paid before we arrive? I know the PPP how they operate. They will pay you to be silent. Why they did not go through the formal system of either go to Britain or you go to approach the government and let the government get a team to come to do the inquiry. What is this man? What has he done? What is his right to fame? What has been his track record? All these type of things. I understand he's a retiree.
Yeah, probably knows somebody that's connected to the PPP. You're correct. He's going there with the same script that those three pathologists went to Guyana with. And
He's come to make little money and go his way. And what he believe that because it come from foreign, we will accept.
Not anymore. It doesn't operate. And the silence of this guy, the commissioner of police, not one press conference at all. Are you surprised?
I am not surprised. Is he still the commissioner of police?
Good question. Good question. Probably not. He's just there as a puppet, but good question.
Look, man, I am not disappointed in him. I am convinced about one thing, that he will not do anything about any issue that has the overtone of his masters or his master's fingers are shown anywhere. I don't expect anything from this guy. Anything else than just what he's doing. He should do the decent thing. And say, boy, I don't want to stay any longer because I can't do anything about it. And move on.
Certainly he wouldn't. He wouldn't do that. Wouldn't do that at all. You know, corruption, lots and lots of corruption in the Guyana police force since this.
Let me just give you one.
Sure.
I saw a photograph with the president. It was the president and something with the police. And I saw the commissioner with extra loud chains around his neck and rings on his finger and a big man. I'm asking myself, in what part of the world that type of life as a commissioner is permitted? I ain't see anywhere else except Guyana. These guys must be, you know, people got to take back this country, you know. And the faster we come to terms and understand that we got to take this country back from those people who have grabbed the neck of this country just for to loot what is there. It will be better for us. We have to take this country back from these people. We have to take it back from the corrupt politicians that we have. We have to take it back from a police force that don't care a damn. They have a right. It is said that they have a right to serve and protect the society. But they don't serve the society. Neither do they protect the citizens. They solve themselves. I am one of the persons who always believe that when a traffic cop take what you call a bribe on the road, I always believe that he has to do that because you don't pay him a decent wage. So I am saying to you that in taking back this country, we have to understand the cause why we have to do it. Not
So
only
let me ask you, just
Not
trying
just
to play devil's advocate here. You have committed yourself to country, to your union and union members and so forth. You're not being paid the kind of money that you should be paid, but you are satisfied because you love what you're doing, which is to stand up and protect the interest of the people, whether it's workers' rights, constitutional rights, their political rights, human rights. You stand up and you do it. And you're not being paid how you should be paid for that. I don't think that policemen, while I understand, and policemen and women should be properly paid, that there's no justification for a policeman or woman to go out there and take bribe and be as corrupt as some of them are, and to basically say that they need to be paid properly.
I am not justifying it. I'm telling you about the effect and the cause. What I'm saying to you, that those constables who go out there and they take this money, you can't pay them peanuts. Let me give you an example.
If you stick a pin with that example, Lincoln, stick a pin. I'm not saying that you're condoning it at all. Please stick a pin with that example. We have politicians, and I do get your point, politicians who are being paid handsomely. They get all sort of concessions and all these things, but yet they steal hundreds of millions of dollars and all these different things, and they're being paid handsomely. We know of one particular situation. As you stick a pin, please. Listen to
There
this.
and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Sujurong?
Allegations that these guys steal hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't know, man. And again, let me just say, I'm not saying that you're condoning the corruption by the police. Certainly not.
I am saying to you, what I'm saying to you is that we need to look at the cause every time why these people do these type of things. These guys, they go outside there, something for 10 hours, those men on the road, and they can't get a meal, they can't get a water. This police folk, these are the type of things that the commissioner should be looking at to help this force to be better. What I'm saying to you that we have to take the country back from the men and women who are doing these things to us. We need to do that, Mark.
Thank you so much. Elections right around the corner, should be right around the corner, and the people should take that country back. And speaking of taking the country back, as we prepare to wrap up this evening's program, Venezuela has in mind to take a big chunk of Guyana. I want your take on that. But before we get to your take on that, let me remind folks what Jagdeo said in terms of wanting to strike a deal and give a piece of Guyana to Venezuela. This is Jagdeo.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
So he wants to make a concession with Venezuela. Meanwhile, Venezuela is moving in to take control of Essequibo. I don't know. Talk to us, please, Mr. Lewis, as we prepare to wrap up.
Let me tell you, I went to Ordmanston Lodge about less over a month ago, and I heard Carl Greenwich made a presentation. In that presentation, he said, we can win this matter at the World Court. You see, but this issue will never go away. We have to look for ways and means of how we're going to treat with it. And I definitely agree with him. We have to look for other methods how we can deal with it. Not having party at Esquibo, I'm not encouraging that. When these guys are crossing the bridge, coming into our territory. Well, let me say to you that the government has created a debacle for the society. You don't know where they stand on this issue of Venezuela. There's no clear position that has been given. They are waiting for, as far as I see, they're waiting for, if anything happens, for some people in Europe will come or North America will come to throw bombs and fight in Venezuela and between Venezuela and Essequibo. Those people don't have any interest but just to protect theirs, to protect their economic base. That is all they're concerned about. We have to look for ways and means of how we can deal with this situation. And they believe that they run down the army, believing that you can't give, because they are not, the army comprised primarily of African people. So we don't have a big army, we throw it aside. They're looking at race and politics and how they remain in office. They throw it aside. Let me say this to you. I'm looking at this matter bigger than that. You see what is happening in the Middle East? Israel. They take over. They, bit by bit, taking up the piece of lands that the Palestinians live on with a view of pushing them out. If we don't look ourselves, if Venezuela goes with Essequibo, in time, they're going to come for Demerara, Barbies. We're going to become like the Gaza. Mark, you and I may not be wrong, but we have to understand what the consequences are down there. And that's the reason why I'm saying you got to take this country back from them, because these guys who you give the responsibility to manage your business and protect us and advance our position, they're not doing it. What they're doing is that they are looking at how they're gonna make money. But let me tell you this, and they will share it among their friends and cohorts. That is how they operate. When the bombs start to throw in this country, they're gonna move out from here, There's someone go to Trinidad, someone go to Florida, and someone go to Dubai, right? The Americans and the Europeans, they're going to come to protect their interests, the oil outside there. They invest in the oil. Those who gonna move out, they invest in the oil. They don't have to be here with their family to be confronted with the challenges. We have to know, we have to develop our own strategy to deal with this matter. You can't rely on, they're not good custodian of our business. We can't rely on them. There are ways and means you can approach this matter. What is the alternative? Where is the leadership? The alternative, as I see it, is going into Essequibo, another party. Those things don't work. They don't work. You believe Maduro don't know of the level of discrimination that is taking place here. You believe Maduro, they don't know, their intelligence has not informed them of the unease that you have had, that you do have in this society. You believe they're not aware that while you're making a lot of money from oil and gas, right, that some section of this society is cut out from it? They're aware of those type of things. And it is for that reason, even on the blog, you observe a number of persons saying that they ain't going to fight for Venezuela. Fight Venezuela for Essequibo. Let those who benefiting from it, let them go with their family and fight. While you have to understand, you have to empathize with those people. But I'm saying that we have to look at the bigger picture of what the consequences are and not down the road, what it will mean. And for that reason, we need to, as citizens, we need a citizens program that we can develop, we can look for financing, and we can develop it, finance it, and implement it. We have to do it. These guys are not nationalistic. They don't even know the national pledge. They don't even know the national anthem. We speak to one people, one nation, one destiny. And because they don't know that, they move it from one people, one nation, one destiny. They bring it to one Guyana. Okay? So that's where we are. We have to protect Guyana. And that's important.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lincoln. We've got to protect Guyana indeed from the corrupt PPP regime, because as the corrupt Maduro regime, they see what's happening in Guyana. They go after only because they know there's a corrupt regime discriminating against people. It's got to be stopped. It's got to be stopped. Enough is enough. And the election's around the corner, guys. It's got to be stopped. Lincoln, in these times, a real president will try to reach out to all stakeholders. What's happening? Have you guys been contacted, or there's no need to reach out to you guys? The PPP can do all. They have their phantom squad security firms and so forth that's able to go to the border and shoot and fight for them and scoot. Closing remarks, please.
Let me tell you this. I've been invited to what you call by the Minister of Labor. It was 2 or 3 Thursdays ago. And at that meeting, I was invited. We were all who were there were invited, were given the heads up that the president would be meeting with the trade union community. Want to meet with the trade union community last Sunday. An invitation was sent to me to go. But I find it very difficult to go to it when you have serious matters like transgression of rights, of individual rights, violation of the laws, and the issue of the border. This issue is important. Venezuela at your door. And the gathering that you're inviting me to, we can't talk about those things. I am not I can whine, but I'm not a whine down man. Okay? So I chose not to go to whine down. Mark, let me tell you, we have to begin to take this country from the people who we have given custody to, because our own destiny is being challenged at this time. There's no leadership to take us out of the debacle that we are in. We have to do things differently. I hope that you will invite me again to talk. Let's talk about these issues. Good night. Thank you for inviting me. Thanks to the viewership. Thanks to all those who criticize what I've said and those who support what I said, because I always believe that it's positive and negative that gives you energy. Even the light that you see, there's a positive pole and a negative pole that gives you that light. So let me congratulate every one of you for your contribution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lincoln. But before you go, let me thank all of our listeners as well, and thank you too for all that you do and your commitment and your sacrifices. And I've noticed earlier that Rhonda Lane said that she has a little contribution, a donation for Critchlow Labour College. And this is what you call a village. This is how our African ancestors were able to buy villages across the country during those rough times, rough years. And so, Rhonda Lane, you'll know how to reach out to Lincoln for your, as you say, your little contribution, which is a huge contribution. It might be little to you, but it's a step in the right direction. And I also, Lincoln,
it is the spirit. It comes from the heart.
Yep. And I have my contribution to make as well. And for those who wish to do something, always feel free to reach out to Lincoln. I may have a couple of computers to donate to you, to Critchlow Labour College, that is, compliments of the Ben Sharp Foundation. We all can play our part. Lincoln, continue to play your role, continue to stand up for people. And as brave as you are, we salute you, sir. Continue to stand up against the Pol Pots of Guyana. Continue to stand up against the butchers, the butcher from Unity and other butchers in Guyana. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it. And to all of you, our listeners, wherever you are, whether you're in Guyana, outside of Guyana, it doesn't matter. Have a good night. If it's morning, wherever, we got some folks out in Turkey. We got some folks in other parts of the world they're watching us. Good morning. It's morning time in Turkey. Good night to all of you. God bless you, and continue to fight for justice, not only for Adriana Young, but for the two young men in Linden and others who join hands with their parents and loved ones and fight for justice. And like Lincoln said, you've got to take that country back out of the hands of those corrupt vagabonds in the PPP regime. God bless you all. See you tomorrow, same place, same time. So long.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata, Francis C. Wakenham, and since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
Really. And this country got some really stupid people, really. And this
servantless. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They done drive no fair with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set to girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them, they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Barrett and Sue.
देखा एक ख्वाब तो ये सिलसिले हुए, दूर तक निगाह में है गुल खिले हुए।
ये गिला है आपकी निगाहों से, फूल भी हो दरमियां तो फासले हुए।
देखा एक ख्वाब तो ये सिलसिले हुए,